Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back again with another great story about the ongoing, just hellacious Cymbalta detox. So, if you didn't see the last video, what happened is that I take Cymbalta 20 milligrams a day, 20 milligrams a day of it in the morning of Cymbalta XR. I take it for depression and anxiety. However, I was feeling, although it was under control, I was having, I guess, significant depression and anxiety, and I felt like there was a really good chance, even if I couldn't be certain, that the Cymbalta was actually making it worse. Like, I knew I was still addicted to this stuff and that getting off of it would be hell, but I felt like if I can get off of it, that will make my symptoms better in the long term. I think. I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure, but that's why I tried to get off. So I went doing it cold turkey with the idea, like, look, if I start to relapse, I'll just go on Zoloft or something. And I ended up being off of it, like just off everything for 7 days. For 7 days, I didn't take Cymbalta, I didn't take anything. I did get a prescription for Zoloft, and I got it filled. I picked it up Friday night, so that would have been the sixth night. I was feeling really bad, but I was like, look, I usually start to feel better around 10:30 or 11:30 or whatever. So let me just pick it up now, because had it called in before I went to work. I'll pick it up now, and then I'll start in the morning if I'm still not feeling well. And that's, what I went with. And it was probably, I think it was probably the right decision, as opposed to just starting it right then, and then, potentially having to be on a weird schedule with it. I'd rather have it just start in the morning. So I took the prescription was for 25 milligrams. Took that Saturday, and then on Sunday I would take 2 pills of it. So I took 50 milligrams on Sunday, and I took 50 this morning. So what ended up happening is that, Friday night was bad. Then around, because it seems to be this always happens. It gets bad. It's bad in the morning, then gets better over the course of the day, then gets bad again in the early evening, and then starts to get better again around 10:30, and that seems to be how it's gone for pretty much every day. But even when it gets better, it's still pretty bad, and that's finally starting to change, but I'll get to that. But Saturday, most of Saturday was hell, and it didn't really get better that evening either. Usually it starts to get better around 10:30. It really didn't on Saturday, and I was like, oh shit. So now it's even the less horrible parts are over. I'm getting a lot worse. This is really bad. And I just don't know what to do. You're in this stage because you don't know what to do. You don't know when it's going to end, if it's going to end. You just have no idea what's going on. And yeah. So that's that. And then so Sunday, I think if Sunday had been a work day, I don't think I'd have been able to make it in. I was really bad yesterday. And then so I took my pill in the morning, and then kind of later that afternoon, I still felt shitty. I just had this instinct, take another pill, take instead of 25 milligrams, make it 50 milligrams today. Because that's usually that's the lowest dose of effect. There are people who are on 25 or less of of Zoloft, but 50 is usually around where people end up at 50 or higher for most of the cases. So I tried 50, and I was already starting to feel better before I did that. But last night was the first time since this started that I really felt some relief. I've said, I've had ups and downs. It's just that even the ups have been kind of still pretty shitty. And last night, I would say, there were times where I felt 90% of my pre-withdrawal baseline. So keep in mind, I did not feel great pre-withdrawal. That's why I tried to get off this shit in the first place, because I wasn't feeling good, and I think that's the medicine is what's making me not feel good. But last night, I would say that I was 80 to 90% back to there. And right now, I would say that's how I feel now too. It's not how I felt this morning. I woke up and just like with just horrible anxiety. I could barely breathe, and well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I was having difficulty breathing. You know, I took my 2 pills at around 9:30 a.m. and they didn't start to, I feel like, really kick in until around noon. So so I'm thinking that like tomorrow, what I'm gonna do is, you know, wake up earlier. I'll wake up around 8, and then I'll take 75 milligrams tomorrow, and then from now on I'll just take it at 8, and then after tomorrow I'll switch to 100 unless I feel like I don't need it, because like I said, like even like when I was a kid and in much better mental shape than I am now, I was on 200 milligrams a day of Zoloft. So I'm not scared about potentially going all the way up to 100. I'm not going to go past that though, just because I think by that point I just have a feeling that it's going to hit diminishing returns. But I want to give it like you know, at least a chance to like my body to get used to it and to adjust to it and stuff like that. So, but right now, like I said, right now I think, like as I'm talking to you right now, making this video, I think 90%. I'm like 90% of baseline. It's just that baseline was also shit. And then I also like, that's right this second of 90%. I have a feeling in a couple hours it's about to get worse. And then tomorrow morning, again, it's probably going to be pretty bad tomorrow morning too, as well. And, you know, that could last for, I mean, this is the most optimistic I've felt that I am going to eventually get back to at least to where I was. Because like when I was going through this weekend, I was like, it felt like it wasn't ever going to end. I mean, there's always hope there. I am an optimist at heart, so I guess I always have hope. There was never a point where I reached like true hopelessness, but it just felt, it's just so weird because I like to talk about it. Like it gets to a point where I just can't imagine feeling any other way. You know, I can't, like, it's so bad. When it's just the anxiety, I think it's easier to just imagine like being calmed down. But when it's like the anxious depression, that's when it's like really hard to deal with. And like, you know, like, cause I've always got that existential angst anyway, but like I can deal with it. It becomes unbearable though when it's mixed with the depression. So I don't know if it was like, if you took away the existential angst, that like maybe I could deal with the depression, but I'm not sure. It's really bad. I think it's really, really bad. And I'm not here to have a pity party. I'm just saying that, like, it's definitely one of the most unpleasant things I've ever gone through. Like it's, you know, it's tough to compare stuff, right? Because I remember when I first had my wisdom teeth taken out before the pain pills kicked in, before I was able to swallow the pain pills. Oh my God, was that painful. And there was just like no end in sight. It was just like the same type of thing. Like it just hurts and it's not going to stop hurting. And it's like, I mean, eventually, you know, I took the pain pills and I was fine. But yeah, like, and then I also remember shortly after that, actually, I had an appendectomy, and mine was like really serious. My appendix was like gigantic and they had to cut out part of my stomach. So I was in the hospital for a week recovering from that. And yeah, and so I would just sit there like all day long just in pain because they gave me morphine, which doesn't work for me. I respond to Damerol, but not to morphine. Once they gave me the Damerol, it was like, it was still bad, but I could like manage. But before that, oh my God, you know, you're just lying there just in so much pain. So like, if you ask like, were those worse than the depression? I don't know. They're just so different. They're so different. I don't know how to describe them. The depression though, I guess the depression is like, you can at least distract yourself for a moment at times. Although when it gets bad, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like I said though, I think the worst is over. I think there's still going to be ups and downs. I get that because I've been through these types of detox recovery things before. There are going to be ups and downs over the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, maybe. I don't know. So I know there's going to be some really bad downs, but at least I think I'll have a better idea. Like, look, just wait it out. You know, just, you know, wait. I mean, it's not like I have a choice anyway. Just wait it out. Like, you know, the downs will become less frequent over time and they won't be as bad. And, So like assuming though, but that's going to be like, you kind of have to ask, like, am I really going to have ended up much ahead of where I started, right? Because I'm still, because like even like, let's say I do like, between the next 2 weeks to 2 months, I'm recovered. Okay, I'm back to baseline. It's like, okay, well, great, you're off the Cymbalta, but now you went from the lowest dose of Cymbalta to a middle dose of Zoloft. Did you really gain anything? And I still cautiously want to say yes. I think yes, because I do think that, I mean, look, if it ends up being that I can't get off the Zoloft, then okay, I'm an addict for life, I guess, and that's that. And there's no other options. But although I guess I could try, switching to Prozac and then maybe get off that, although I'm not sure I'd want to do that. I mean, honestly, if I'm not able to get off the Zoloft, I think I'm just not going to try to get off these meds anymore. Even if they are causing problems, just live with it. Just get to as low a dose as I can and learn to live with it. But I think that just because I wasn't able, I was finally able to get off the Effexor when I took Cymbalta. And yeah, it took Zoloft to get me off the Cymbalta, but I was able to get further with it. And, Zoloft, I think, is going to be easier to get off of for two reasons. One is that its half-life is much longer. The half-life of Zoloft is about 24 to 26 hours. So long half-life compared to Effexor is only Effexor is 5 hours, and Cymbalta is 11 hours. So Zoloft has like a much greater half-life than either of them. So I think so I'm cautiously optimistic on that angle. The other, actually I said two, but there's three reasons. One is, in the past when I was on Zoloft, I was able to get off it easily. I was just really tired for like a week and had really vivid dreams for a week, but that was it. And that was 200 milligrams cold turkey. Now, and again, I was younger, healthier, lighter. And that was before, 20 years of continuous daily SSRI usage, which has done God knows what to my brain. But even still, I think that's possible there. The other thing is that Zoloft's not an SSNRI; it's just an SSRI. So I don't really know what the difference is with the the neo reuptake or whatever it's called. But I do think the fact that, if I'm, at least I'm not addicted to that part. It's okay, the serotonin shit's still there with the SSRIs, but the neo-reuptine or whatever it's called isn't. So maybe that'll make it easier to get off of, too. So, I mean, it's possible that when I am all the way back, I'm not able to get off the Zoloft. It's extremely possible. I hope that I am, because I do. First of all, I hate the fact of being addicted to this stuff. Second of all, I do think these drugs are causing me problems. I really do. In fact, I know they are. I know that they're causing me problems. But yeah. So the other thing I would say is I really haven't been able to eat much. I don't know if you can tell just from looking at me, but I'm already down 6 pounds, and it's been 9 days. Some of that's water weight. It'll come right back. And basically, I can only eat like one meal a day. Because other than that, it's like the hunger is there, and even the food cravings are there, but I just have no desire to eat. It's very weird. It's weird because you have all the physical sensations of hunger. You have the physical cravings. It's like the physical cravings are there. But like the mind, my mind just doesn't want to eat. Or I don't know how to think. It's not. I don't know if the mind is the right way to do it. It's like my body just doesn't want to eat. So like on one hand, it's a craving, but it's like almost like I don't know what to say, because it's not. I don't know. I simultaneously am craving it and not wanting it, and not wanting it is in oh, I don't need it. Not wanting it is in I really just don't want to. You might not imagine a food you don't so something really, I'm trying to think of something unpleasant, but you just don't want just pick a food you don't like. I don't know, pick whatever you want, and you just don't want to eat. It could be in front of you. You don't want to eat that, and that's what I feel like about foods, except with foods that I do like. That I do like. It's not I just don't want to eat them, and it's so weird, the disconnect from the physical hunger and craving, but then not wanting to actually have it. So right now I'm every time I do eat, like, because it basically, like it'll finally usually get to one point a day where, like, the hunger and cravings will be strong enough to override the not wanting to eat. And then I will go and eat. And, you know, like, I don't eat healthy foods. I'm not planning on changing that. So high glycemic stuff, it does spike the blood sugar, which makes my depression worse for a couple of hours, you know, until it calms back down. So, like, I'm thinking, like, we'll see how it goes, but right now my plan is to I'm just not going to eat until I feel better. You know, I'm gonna keep drinking water, but I'm just gonna stop eating. If it gets to a point where, like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out, I'll eat some broccoli. And but, like, yeah, right now I'm just thinking, like, I'm basically just not gonna eat for, like, the next 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes, because maybe tonight I end up getting so hungry I can't handle it. But I feel like, you know, fasting is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I've never been able to do it. And now this is, like, an opportunity to do it. And it's, if I don't really, like, want to eat anyway, it's easy to overcome, especially if I'm so scared that, because I know that when I do eat, I'm going to immediately get hit with depressive symptoms. Like, they'll fade relatively fast. But I mean, I don't even feel good now. So why would I want to feel worse even for an hour or 2 hours? You know, I just, like, it's easier to just not eat. And then we'll see how that goes. And then I know it's like some people who don't really understand how the body works. Like, well, then aren't you going to die if you don't eat? No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to be okay. Like I said, if it gets to a point where, especially me, like, I'm so fat, and that's one good thing about this. Like, I do think that if I lose weight, that might help with the depression. So if I were to, like, just drop, like, 50 pounds, like, I've got at least 50 spare pounds on me. Like, I've got so much body fat. And so it's not like, for me, I'm not in danger of any type of calorie deficit. Now, you can get nutrient deficit, and nutrient deficits, that could happen. But that would be like if you were going to fast for, like, months. And then more of an issue would be those electrolytes. So, yeah, if I do end up, like, eating an electrolyte shortage or whatever, then, okay, I'll eat some. I got some cooked broccoli ready to go. So I'll do that, and that should be able to keep me going. But we'll see how long it goes. We'll see if I get anything out of it. That's all for now. See you in the next.